British chocolate once held a rhythm all its own. Wrappers rustled in classrooms, coins clinked across countertops, and brands came and went with the ease of playground gossip. For decades, corner shops served as both community hubs and confectionery museums, displaying every shade of sugar-coated invention. Yet while some names remain household staples, others slipped quietly into the past. This video explores 10 lost British chocolates that once shaped a generation before, vanishing into sweet memory. Launched by Cadbury in 1982, the Spira stood apart with its double helix shape. Two spiraled chocolate tubes fused side by side. Marketed toward teenagers, its unique design promised both playfulness and indulgence in equal measure. It was aerated and snappable, the sort of bar that made sharing an act of engineering. For many, it carried the taste of youth club vending machines and bus stop wrappers tucked into school bags. Withdrawn in 2005, it left behind a fan base still campaigning for its revival 2 decades later. Before its modern revival, the original Wispa Gold was a symbol of indulgence in the early 1990s. It took the beloved aerated texture of the Wispa and coated it with a layer of golden caramel, decadent without being excessive. For a brief period, it outsold Crunchy and Flake, with television adverts capturing a soft-focus ideal of British comfort. When Cadbury axed it in the early 2000s, protests and petitions followed, proving how deeply a chocolate bar could embed itself in public affection. Mars introduced the delight in 2004 to appeal to a more adult palate. Lighter, crispier, and less cloying than its namesake bar. It layered wafer and chocolate mousse within delicate folds of milk chocolate, offering sophistication without pretense. The packaging was elegant, the marketing quiet, a departure from the brand's usual energy-fueled image. Women were the primary target audience, a strategy that both defined and limited its reach. By 2008, it was gone, remembered as a rare attempt at refinement in a market addicted to heft. For children of the 1990s, the Cadbury Taz bar held a place beside lunch boxes and after-school rituals. A simple caramel-centered treat, wrapped in the mischievous grin of the Looney Tunes character, it was the cheaper cousin to the Freddo. Costing just 10 pence at its peak, it offered the same chocolate hit in smaller, cartoonish form. When licensing costs rose and margins tightened, Taz quietly vanished from production. The Secret Bar by Rowntree's lived up to its name, a delicate lattice of milk chocolate hiding a whipped mousse center. Introduced in the late 1980s, it was marketed with hushed tones and velvet-lined adverts promising mystery and sophistication. The structure made it fragile, prone to crumbling in pockets and on conveyor belts alike. Production costs sealed its fate by the early 1990s, leaving only hazy recollections of foil-wrapped elegance. Launched in the early 1980s, the Cabana bar offered a tropical escape through cherry, coconut, and caramel encased in milk chocolate. It fit the decade's fascination with exotic flavors, sold under palm tree branding and bright turquoise wrappers. For a time, it found steady sales among factory workers and school tuck shops alike. By the early 1990s, changing tastes and simplified ranges sent it to the archives of discontinued delights. Unlike the boxed chocolates that shared its name, the Milk Tray bar condensed Cadbury's assorted flavors into a single stick of variety. Sections alternated between truffle, fudge, and caramel, giving the sense of a miniature selection box in one bar. Launched in the late 1970s, it enjoyed moderate success through the 1980s before fading quietly in the next decade. Before M&M's dominated, there were treats, the melt-in-your-mouth, not-in-your-hand chocolate-coated peanuts produced by Mars. They first appeared in the 1960s and became a cinema staple across Britain, pouring from yellow paper bags into shared palms. Their coating was thicker, their chocolate creamier, making them distinct from the American version that replaced them. By the mid-1980s, they were phased out in favor of global branding and uniformity. Cadbury's Aztec bar arrived in 1967, a direct rival to Mars, featuring nougat and caramel in thick milk chocolate. It was heavy, chewy, and distinctly British in its refusal to go easy on the sweetness. Adverts promised a taste of adventure, though few understood what the Aztec theme actually meant. By 1978, the bar was gone, replaced in spirit by the lighter, crunchier Marathon. Cadbury's Fuse arrived in 1996, a chaotic blend of nuts, raisins, cereal, and caramel, all bound in milk chocolate. It embodied the decade's energy, messy, loud, and impossible to categorize. Advertisements pitched it as solid fuel for the human race, and for a few years that didn't seem far off. It sold 40 million bars in its first 3 months, dominating shelves nationwide. Yet by 2006, tastes had shifted toward simpler, cleaner bars, and Fuse melted out of sight as quickly as it had arrived. Each of these lost bars carries more than flavor. They hold the shape of decades past. The playground trades, the corner shop counters, the quiet rituals of unwrapping on bus rides home. British chocolate once served as a small mirror of changing tastes and economies, reflecting shifts in identity as much as sugar content. When brands vanished, they left gaps larger than their wrappers suggested. What remains are memories of textures, adverts, and fleeting moments when the world seemed smaller, sweeter, and wrapped in foil.